Valentine's
but
Day is just for the teenagers and the people who are
yeah,
single,
that's
so
true.
it's not for the mass general public.
Look, we get free chocolate. We get reduced price chocolate the next day, so it works out for us, right?
Yeah, that's great actually. So,
Oh,
do you drink your coffee like just black coffee, or do you have like cappuccino or something?
yeah, no, it's just black coffee. It's just a lot easier for me, and uh, more recently I switched to decaf just because I didn't want to stay up till 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
Uh,
uh, I mean, I drink coffee. It's very Indianized coffee actually. I just
okay, what's that like?
it's I don't know if you drink it or not. It's I don't know. I just take 3 pouches of coffee. It's like a very cheap coffee actually. I just put them into a cup and then add hot boiling milk over that.
Mhm.
You know, a bit of sugar, and that's it. That's it.
Oh,
That
nice.
is just that makes it just perfect so that I can wake up.
That sounds really good. I may try that, but I'll have to use a lactose-free alternative.
Are you? Do you have lactose intolerance?
Yeah, kind of. Like I can handle cheese, but sometimes milk just doesn't do well for me. I don't know why. It's odd.
For me, I think over a limit, milk does bad things to me. But cheese actually is a problem for me. I mean,
Oh,
it doesn't give me like the
yeah.
it just makes me a bit more gassy actually.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, so
hey, that's better than
it's not that bad actually.
no. I would have a horrible life if I couldn't have cheese.
Yeah, I mean cheese is very great actually. So I
it
cannot
it is.
resist myself, but yeah,
You pay for it afterwards. Yeah, I get
yeah.
you.
So it's not that big of a price, so it's fine. Okay, in the questions then. I actually have a list today because I
Oh,
was actually the last time I was doing a podcast with you, I was constantly messing it up. I was constantly running out of ideas to talk about.
um,
Yeah.
okay.
So, what do you
Uh,
do in this situation if you have this situation in your podcast? What do you do?
I think early on it was how do you keep the conversation flowing? That was the hardest part for me when I first was getting started. I think as you get better with talking to people, if you don't think of it as an interview, let's start it like this. If you don't think of it as an interview, then a it just makes a conversation. And so if you start running out of things for conversation, as long as you don't go to the old adage of who's your favorite sports team, what's the weather like, and what's your favorite you know food or whatever, then you won't run out of ideas. But when it comes to like a one-on-one interview here, it just comes back to how did you research the guest and how do you research guests in the future. So if you have questions you want to ask, I think those should be your first questions you should definitely ask. And I think that uh, as you get better with it, sometimes you can actually pull questions from a person's conversation or answer they gave from a previous question. So it takes practice, it takes a little experience, but as long as you're willing to talk with people, there's always a conversation to be had.
What's your setup like? What do you have in your setup?
My tech setup,
Yeah.
I've had an old Logitech C920 camera for, oh gosh, it's got to be like 20 some odd years now, and it still works great. I haven't. I know there's better cameras out there. I do
Mm-hmm.
want to upgrade the camera, but for what I have, for how much you can get it for, like 100 Canadian or less, even by now, is always a wonderful thing to have. I have two lights off on a 45-degree angle off to the side here. They're newer 16-inch lights, I think, and they're currently set to like two brightness at the 5600 light setting Kelvin. Um, my computer spec as well is it's an 8-core Intel, uh, 64 gigs of RAM over 13 plus. Oh God, I think I have
You're
maybe
really
50
beefy
terabyte.
setup actually.
Yeah, 40 card, 50 some odd terabytes of external hard drives as well as internal. I have 13 fans running in it currently, and I change my system every 7 years.
Every 7 years. So how many times have you changed it?
Mm. It has been, I think I'm on my seventh computer, I think,
Seventh
in my
computer
lifetime.
in your lifetime. So 7 into 7, it's like 49.
Well, I mean, I've had seven computers in almost 46 years, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so about that. Do you
Not to
think,
mention laptops.
yeah, laptops doesn't count in the, traditional setup.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, do you think it is worth it to have such a big setup, or is it just
For
your
me, it.
is it just
Go
your
ahead.
passion, or is it just is it worth it?
I some people say it's overkill,
Yeah.
uh, but for me, because I do a lot of video editing, I do a lot of audio stuff. I need the the system in order to do what I need to do. I've have over 18 plus years of interviews I've saved as well. I have so much extra content off on different servers and just kind of backed up because you never know what's going to happen because I don't trust the cloud. I really find that I personally need this type of setup, and other people that are in the industry, like with video editing, have similar setups, if not a little more beefier than me. They definitely have better monitors, that's for sure. So I find that this is what I need. This is what it works for me, and every so often, maybe I'll change a keyboard or a mouse or whatever, just because it's easier for me. But I still have my same two-channel old 15-year-old soundboard with my microphone. I've upgraded my microphone as well recently, and I just find that this type of tech works for me, but it may not work for other people. I also know that technology now is getting super expensive too,
Mm-hmm.
between RAM and everything like that. 64 gigs of RAM, and I bought two 16 gig kits. Um, when I purchased it like 2 years ago, was $100. Now it's like over 400,
Yeah,
and this
that's
is
a problem actually.
DDR4. It's
AI is so great just
well,
when it comes to RAM and all of that, it's bad. And water too actually. I think it uses a lot of water to cool down the
mhm.
systems. That's a big problem.
it's it's worse than a nuclear reactor by far.
Hmm. Why don't you trust the cloud storage then? Same reason?
Uh, Similar reason. I don't know who has access to my content in terms of security. I have content that mm, back 10, 15 years ago that may not be suitable for today's climate. It's not that anything was wrong with it. It's just either the people have passed on or maybe have questionable backgrounds that
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed way back when it wasn't brought to light. And I just don't want that content out there. So I'd rather have control over what I get to release. But the content that I have released is amazing. I love the people I speak with. I'm having a couple more return guests coming on this year as well. I'm having some new guests that I know of in the comics community, but I've never actually interacted with them, at least not through social media. So I'm looking forward to this coming year. It should be fun.
Do you miss the comedies the Hollywood produced in the early 2000s and all of those American Pie and all of those things?
Eh, they I enjoyed them, but they had their time in the spotlight. Me, I grew up with comedies from the 1980s and 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and action films and things like that. So my comedy gene has been there for a long a long time ago. So I have a very, like, I love slapstick and I love physical comedies. They don't do a lot of those these days, but they I think they're coming back to that,
Mm-hmm.
which is a sorely missed genre of comedy. I think it's great to have the one-liners and back and forth, and but there's something to be said about like a Carol Burnett show or things like that, where it was pure improvised comedy and things like that.
I do really miss it actually, because I mean I don't really have a lot of the media to watch nowadays, because
Mhm.
the Indian comedies I don't really like them because I've seen it all. There are no good Indian comedies nowadays, and similar for America too. I don't really have. I cannot remember the last good American comedy I watched.
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's a
kind of
big
difficult.
problem.
I especially with streaming too.
Hmm.
There's you don't really see it live these days, or you don't watch a show because it's moved on to a streaming platform or whatever it is. But you're gonna rewatch the shows that you enjoy. I found a lot of interesting stuff with like the Korean, like K dramas and those types. The Asian comedy is actually pretty solid too. Even if you're just reading subtitles, it's still you can understand like the physicality of what they're doing
Yeah,
and the comedy and the action they have is
they
really
have
amazing
very
too.
much of like a physical comedy rather than using
Yeah.
their words, and they
Yeah.
do it good actually. Jackie Chan. I grew up watching Jackie Chan, and
Hmm.
Asian comedy is good, but and I know about the subtitle problem because I grew up listening to Hindi, and now I speak in English. I watch in English, so I know about the subtitle thing. But there are some jokes I cannot understand in the first time watching.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the
It
political jokes might be.
Oh, okay. I thought it does get lost in translation when you're trying because I don't speak multiple languages. So, do you find that difficult to like translate inside your head
No,
as the conversation is going?
I had a teacher when I was in third grade, and she told me when you listen to any other language you're learning, just don't convert it into your own language. Just think about it in that language, so it won't be a problem for you. So when you speak in English, I think in English. I don't convert it into Hindi and then convert it
Okay.
into English. So it's far much effective.
Hmm.
So it's great for me. Now it's very better. When I was young, when I was in the fifth grade, I remember I actually couldn't speak English that well, and there was this
Hmm.
new song from an Indian rapper, and it was titled Mercy, and I couldn't pronounce Mercy at that time. I didn't knew what Mercy was,
Hmm.
so I said Murky, and that made my classmates chuckle just like you, man. And that was the day I was like, no, I gotta learn English, and I just learned it.
That's awesome. I love that. I've always wanted to learn a language, but I never. It just as you get older, it's more of a time factor, and you just appreciate what content is out there. And I think it's just amazing those that can speak multiple languages and really enjoy it and it's not just about the culture but it's about the beauty of language. I love it.
Yeah, cause now when start to learn another language, I started learning German actually last year, but it was so tough. It was so difficult. I cannot just get over the fact that you can pronounce such a difficult word in just a sentence, right? And when you think of speaking in Hindi, you might think the same. But I think the only way naturally you can learn another language is when you teach it to young children, right? Because I
Mhm.
started learning English when I was in nursery grade. So I have this legacy of it so many years. So now I can really speak in English.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. But Canada does have French Canadians, right? They can speak two languages.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I stopped learning French in grade 9. I was pretty good at it. It's just my focus was more on the computer side of things and the sciences and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I had to kind of decide in high school what I was going to kind of focus in on specifically. So I focused on the STEM, the science, technology, um, English, and math wasn't my strong suit either. I hated algebra and calculus; those were just not my strong subjects. So I focused more on the computer side of things when I got into to college and all that, and in my career. And now I'm doing TV and film as a DIT, where I back up the footage and I work on sets like that. So my progression has been it's been a long journey, but it's been fun, and I love just being on sets no matter how long the hours are, and I get to see like a lot of the content I created last year or I was on sets for is getting released currently now as of 2026. So like a long ride home, which was a 4 month series that I worked on. is going to be released, I think, in March this year, and that was a 6 episode series for Bell Media.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to then turn back into a feature film, but like it was intended to originally. A couple of docu-series I worked on just got released currently. Uh, Wheatley from Fish to Flames that would just got released today, actually, uh, which was about an explosion, a gas explosion that happened in a small community just 15 minutes away from here that devastated their uh, community for almost 2 years after the explosion. It took out the downtown core, basically, blew up the Legion that we had there, and the series is about like the resilience of a community after a disaster. It wasn't necessarily focusing on the disaster itself. So there were some really amazing stories that I didn't even know about
Mm-hmm.
just 15 minutes away from a historical standpoint. A local author that did Tales of Texas Road, which is a haunted road uh, out this way, uh, wrote a book with like 60 some odd stories, and we put that to a TV series. She's now picked up, I think, for season 2 for either Sandwich Town or something else that we're going to
That's
do.
great.
So
That's great.
I love the fact that like stuff that I worked on is just finally getting out there now, and it's just the process of working as a team and working together, and you have an end goal like from start to finish. It's just really fun to see. So
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us really had some way or another something related to a bombing or blast actually, because down in Ukraine there was Chernobyl and they had their
yeah,
problems, and
right.
in India there was this another gas leak in Bhopal.
Mm,
People don't really know about
okay.
that outside
Mm,
India. There was Hiroshima, Nagasaki, obviously.
of course,
Then
yeah.
you have that in Canada. I
Hmm.
reckon there might be something in America too that we don't know about.
Oh, probably. I mean, the Fermi 2 would be the most recent one, which was a nuclear power plant melted down, which is in Ohio,
Oh,
and that's literally across the way. But that was in the, don't quote me, 60s, 70s, something like that, where the plant melted down. It didn't explode, but it imploded from the inside, melted down, and they have a nuclear power plant like I think 50 miles away from it currently right now. Two of them actually, I should say. And you can see it from Amherstburg, across the water. You can actually see the nuclear power plant there. But they had to do like robots had to be built to tear down Fermi 2, or was it Fermi 1? Anyhow, you can look it up. It's online.
Ohio
And
is
so
a
robots
strange
had to be,
place.
yeah, yeah, we're in an odd section of like we're bordering the United States with Ohio, Michigan, um, Maine, and New York. So
New York. Which
Massachusetts.
state do you live in?
Well, no, we're in southwestern Ontario,
Oh.
so we're closer to Michigan than, um, but the Great Lakes that are around our area,
Mm-hmm.
it's like we're technically bordering a bunch of states in
The
general.
Great Lake of Michigan really looks very scary in the winters, though, right? Because I saw this video and there were like a lot of these icebergs in the lake. I don't know if it's real or not.
Mhm. Oh yeah, no. So the if you look at, there's a good documentary on the St. Lawrence River and how water flows throughout the Great Lakes up through the St. Lawrence River into the Atlantic Ocean. It's on The Nature of Things on CBC. You can look it up.
Mm-hmm.
But the five Great Lakes, Superior, like they will freeze over in the wintertime. In fact, currently Lake Erie here is completely frozen over because we have negative 15 degrees Celsius um, temperatures right now. So it's really cold. But it gets to the point where you could literally like take cars onto the lake and drive on it. It's that's that level of frozen. And in fact, even the Detroit River, which was a lot of rum running and things back in the 1920s, they used to literally drive across the water to drive across the Detroit River to get booze and bring it back to the United States from Canada. So if it gets cold enough, yeah, it'll definitely freeze. I'm surprised we haven't had ice fishing out this way recently.